silly method. I think it's ineffective. It doesn't move me or motivate me in any way, but I'm not opposed to it. What I reject is this effort to create fear and division in the community that leads to credible threats of violence against me and my family. I don't reject them standing outside my home. I reject them following me around in a car, following my car around. I reject them saying that they're coming for me, that I need to beg for mercy. I reject that when they are using their First Amendment rights on public property, they're also going behind my home and brandishing their weapons to my neighbors, that they're making false DCF claims against me to my daughter, that I have to take a DCF investigator to her play date to go underneath her clothing and check for burn marks. That's what I'm against.
That is just some of the account we played for you on yesterday's show. Member of Florida's Brevard County School Board, Jennifer Jenkins, detailing the threats she and her family have endured during months of heated debate between members of the public and school board officials, mainly over the issue of masks in schools. And Jennifer joins us now. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on. We were all so moved by your words, and we, quite frankly, felt terrible for you. Tell us what is the latest, specifically in your locality, as it pertains to mask mandates, vaccine mandates, and overall how people are treating each other.
Thank you so much for having me. Currently in Brevard County, we have opted as a majority of our board to have a mask mandate in place. There is no parental opt-out. There is only a medical opt-out option, which I'm assuming some of you might be aware of. That is a controversial issue here in the state of Florida. Currently, we are making a decision about how to respond to a letter we received from the Florida Department of Education that is telling us they're going to withhold our pay. Because we made that decision. We currently don't have any vaccine mandates, and to be honest with you, that's not a conversation we're even having, even remotely at this point.
Why not?
You know, I don't even know why. I think we have just been so overwhelmed with the overwhelming amount of hate and vitriol for something as simple as a cloth mask to be put over our students and staff's face to keep them safe. We haven't even had time to process any other important things or business that we should be doing as a school board organization to help our students in every single area. It's really difficult to deal with, and it's really frustrating that we can't govern and need to do, because all we have to do is focus on people who are against a mask mandate.
How long have you been on the school board? Have you ever confronted a situation like this? Has the school board functioned normally in the past?
So I am coming up on almost a year of being sworn into the school board. And unfortunately, this isn't my experience since the day I was sworn in. I defeated a well-known Republican incumbent who couldn't let that defeat go, created an organization that had spread information to their members that their disdain for me is something that should be their hyper focus, and the disdain for the things that I care about and that I support should be the hyper focus of their conversation. And from that moment on, the day I was sworn in, things have only got worse. It just jumped from topic to topic, from our LGBTQ guidelines to allegations of CRT in our schools, and of course, the back and forth of the mask mandate.
Jennifer, good morning, and thanks so much for being with us this morning to tell your story. I think the reason your remarks the other day resonated is because so many of us with kids know who you are. We know the people who raise their hand and run to serve on school boards or serve on the PTA. People want to get involved beyond the scope of their daily jobs. If you could just explain a little bit about why you decided to run for that school board. I know you're a speech pathologist, your husband is a teacher, you're both educators in your own right. Why did you want to raise your hand and serve there?
Yeah, I mean, you said it really well. I'm professionally and personally invested in public education. I'm an educator myself. My husband's a teacher, and we have a 5-year-old little girl who started kindergarten this year. So we are beyond invested in public education. And here in Florida, we were fighting for fair teacher compensation. And a really strong passion of mine is equity across the district. I want to ensure that all of our students have access to the same opportunities and success. Unfortunately, in my campaign, I was sidetracked with COVID and conversations about COVID, but it was important. I was proud to be there, to be a voice for our students and our staff and our community, to ensure that there's somebody there who really, really cares about the fact that we need to keep our students and our staff safe.
So where does this go, Jennifer, from here? Obviously, you're not alone. This is a scene that's played out at school board meetings across the country, parents coming in angry, screaming about critical race theory, screaming about having to wear masks, screaming about the prospect of potentially mandates for vaccines for kids when those become available and safe. So how do you see this resolving itself, if you do?
If I'm being honestly, at this point, I don't necessarily see a resolve. It's really frustrating where our community has gone. You know, I was elected to keep students and staff safe, and because I'm doing the job I was elected to do, I have become a target for normalized coordination of attacks and threats. And you're absolutely correct. It goes from topic to topic. And, you know, when there's no consequences for the actions of a minority of voices, that becomes normalized and it becomes acceptable. And that's a problem. And I've said it before, but, you know, this is our new pandemic, not only here in the state of Florida, but across the nation. And unfortunately, our school board members, our local elected officials, and sometimes our educators are now at the face of this.
So, Jennifer, you are a perfect living example of what it means to get actively involved in local politics. People are always urging people, get involved, do your part. You'll help the country, you'll help your state or your community. You've done that. And the result has been what you've discussed here to this morning and earlier on the clip that we played. Your family has been terrorized. You've been threatened multiple times. Would you ever run again, and who do you blame for this?
You know, this has been really difficult for me. It has been really difficult for my family. It has been difficult for me to navigate how to continue to be a strong presence in the community for people who support me, to know that I am there and I won't back down for them, while also managing all of the things that have been happening to my family and my family members who support us, you know, their emotions and dealing with that. You know, I never want the people who are doing these horrible things to me to see that it is affecting me. But I am a human being. It is affecting me. I am a mother. It is affecting my daughter. But I will never back down on my convictions. It's not who I am as a person. It's never been who I was. And all of these things that they are doing to me and my family are just making me stronger and making me just stand to my truth and my convictions. And so, no, I'm not going to give up. And whether or not I'm going to run for a school board seat again, I mean, that's 3 years from now. I don't know. But I'm not opposed to it. This does not deter me.
I'd say run again or run for something else. And we'd be happy to be here for you. Brevard County School Board member Jennifer Jenkins, thank you for coming on today, and thank you for your service.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks, guys.